Let's change the topic a little bit more to other type of applications, and not from glue and not from plastics, but let's go for textiles. I think textiles is still a underserved topic. Everybody is wearing textiles, but we don't include electronics too much to our body, because that's, I think, the easiest and the most wearable version of it. Zackary Davis, you're coming from Copenhagen, the Danish Technological Institute. Maybe you can give a light on what can be achieved on textiles.
Thank you very much for the nice introduction. So, good morning, everybody. My name is Zackary Davis. I'm from Danish Technological Institute, and I'll talk a little bit about what we are doing within the field of eTextiles, but also some other application areas. First, I'll go a little bit back. What is DTI? DTI is a research and technology organization. It's a self-owned company, so we are not owned by the government, but we are owned by ourselves. But it's a RTO approved by the Danish Minister of Higher Education and Science, and it was actually founded in 1906 by this guy, Gunnar Gregersen, which is a very innovative guy for his time. He had this vision of how do we bring technology and new innovations to the industry, and that's also the vision of DTI today. We are still doing more or less the same sort of work to bring innovation to industry. We are located in Denmark, several sites. We're about 1,000 plus employees spread across Tostrup, Skyby, Odense, Aarhus. I am situated in Tostrup together with my group, and we're about 300 or 400 people at this site here, just right outside of Copenhagen. So if you want to come visit, you can always just take a taxi, and it takes about 20 minutes. If you look at our breakdown of turnover, just to show you what we're doing, we do R&D projects, but actually most of our turnover is coming from direct commercial activities, either through Danish or international customers, about between 70 to 75%. We actually in this case, between 18 and 20% of the turnover is coming from R&D projects, and that could be European projects or national Danish-founded projects, and we have a little bit of between 8 and 10% of our turnover is coming from direct contract with the Danish government. So we get a little bit of base funding, but actually a lot of what we're really good at is commercial activities, and that could be testing and validation services, standardized testing, for example. It could be integration and also development work, contract development. We do quite a lot of that in my group. If we look at DTI Printed Electronics, we have quite a range of activities going on, all the way from material development, where we actually develop new materials. We can then formulate them into inks, because we like to do printing, of course. And then we can do a lot of testing as well here, so doing print testing, adhesion testing, etc. Then we can, of course, print into larger volumes, making components. Printing components, we can also add mounted components, etc., to make prototyping, and we can, in principle, in some cases, go all the way to a pilot production, and even become a sort of supplier for different companies, depending on what we're doing. And then, of course, last but not least, we have a lot of testing and validation services, where we're testing all the way from the materials we have going on to the components themselves. How we work with customers is quite straightforward. We have, of course, a lot of dialogue. Sometimes it's a very straightforward job. Other times it takes a lot of time to understand what the customer needs, and we take the time to do that, of course. We make an offering, and then we do the work. And typically we have 3 types of projects, all the way from going from a sort of a consultancy, sort of proof of concept phase. That could be someone has a really good idea, but they don't know exactly how they're going to transform that into a product. Then we can actually help them do a few small tests just to understand if things can be done. And then we go into a typical prototyping phase, where we can then do a full design, maybe put some electronics and maybe a little bit of software in there, and then put it together and provide a full functional prototype for the customer. And then in principle, as I said before, we can also do some pilot production, or even sub-supply some of the parts for the customer if that's needed. If it's not needed, we also try to help the customer find whatever manufacturing house that can do the production at the scale that they would like. if we go into some of the examples,